Good evening, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and get started because I know you probably have dinner waiting for you at home, don't you? Oh, how nice. All right. I'm glad to be talking to this group here because this means that y'all have already been through all the other two groups as well. So now I can talk about everything and you'll know what I'm saying or talking about. All right. My role in this evening is I'm talking about testing and dual credit. Everybody loves testing, so that's why I put it first to get it out of the way. Because STAR testing, everybody's tired of that. And I could talk on and on and on about that, but I will keep my opinions to myself. All right, testing. All right, high school is a little bit easier than all the other grade levels. Testing only deals with 5 tests. Thank goodness. So when your student comes to freshman year, they're going to be taking these courses and they'll be testing in these courses. So 9th grade, they'll have 3 tests and everything. And if they have 5 and they're taking 3 in 1 year, that's a lot. But it does get them out of the way and it does test them over the courses they just took throughout the year. So 9th grade, the test they will take is English 1, which is reading and writing, Algebra 1, and biology. Now, if your student is taking Algebra 1 now, they will be taking Algebra 1 EOC this spring in May. So that means they'll only have 2 the next year. 10th grade, they'll take English 2. 11th grade, they'll take U.S. History. And 12th grade, they'll be home free. If everything's passed and all the courses are passed, they are home free. But I tell mine that's still at 12th grade, a senior, that she has to go all the way to the very end of the last day of school. All right, students must score, just like 8th grade and all your other grades. Here's what we're doing now in the state of Texas. You never know when it's going to change. But approaches is below grade level, meets is on grade level, masters is above grade level. You'll have multiple chances to pass until end of 12th grade, which we usually take those tests in December. We take them in April, we take them in May, and we take them in June. So there's multiple chances to take the test for them to pass because they must pass all 5 to graduate. Now, some of us may have special circumstances. There's always that possibility. That will be talked about with the counselor, and I'm not going to get into all that because that's our own business. But STAR test, the good thing is you get 3 out of the way your freshman year. All right, ACT and SAT. I know as parents we probably all took those and made good scores on those. But they are standardized tests used for colleges in their admissions in the United States. And Texas does take both. Some states take one, some states take both, some states take SAT or ACT. It depends on what college you want to go to. Some of us stay in Texas, some of us go out of Texas. So you'll just have to look at your requirements when your child picks their school to see which one you need to take. Don't waste that money in taking all these tests. The cost, there's the URL addresses to get to those 2 places, but if you really wanted something easy, just put ACT in or SAT. It'll take you to those websites. It usually costs around $50 without writing, and it costs about $15 to $20 more if you add writing to it. And again, it depends on what your college wants you to do and what your program wants you to do. You may go to a journalism class at Texas A&M in College Station. They require you to take the writing part. Who knows? Some of them may not require you to take the writing part. That's where you have to do your homework. The students choose what colleges they want scores to be sent to. That's during registration. And if you don't want to send them to any of them, you're not like you kind of want to hold off and to see what the score is first. You decide, oh, this is great. I want to send this to my college. Well, it's going to cost you money if you decide later to change it. So, you'll have to, I know you know this, but they're always wanting your money. MVHS offers Saturday testing in December and April of each year. That's an ACT. I should have put that up there. But ACT we do in December and April of every year, and that's here. We also offer a testing school day in February. We just did this a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week. But that means they don't have to drive anywhere. They just come here. Studies show the more times you take it, the more scores are raised, the more successful you are. You usually raise about to a point or a point and a half every time you take it. So yes, you are paying for the test, but those of us who want money to go to college, well, our scores will have to be raised if it's not where we want them to be to start with. When students take the test, they must come with a photo ID. I've turned so many away that don't bring their photo ID. They have to know to bring that when they take the test here, anywhere they take it, whether it's here or another school. And then when they register, they must upload their photo before their registration is complete. Some kids think it's complete, but they forget they got to do the photo as well. So that's just a reminder that those are our common mistakes that we have. And the tests take about 4 to 5 hours each. So if you got any plans, some of us in the future, they may be in athletics, they may be doing this. All that has to be worked out before the test is taken. So do your homework, practice, or figure out what your plan is on that Saturday or that day of school. All right, TSI. This is the Texas Success Initiative. It started about 2013 to test our students to see if they were college ready, if they're ready in reading, writing, and mathematics. It helps determine what type of courses you'll need. Some of us may need to do our developmental courses, like myself. When I went to college, I was not a math person, so I had to take a developmental math course before I took college algebra. It did help. It helps. On the TSI, they must score a reading composition of 351 or better, a math 350 or better, the written essay of 5, or the written portion of 4, and the multiple choice section of 360 or better. Cost at school here, we take them in the spring and we give several opportunities. They are $6 each or $18 for all three. Now, if you go to NTCC and take them in their testing center, it costs $15 each or $36 for all three. So the best thing is to take them here if you can. Now, your student will probably start off, they'll start their freshman year. No, they're not taking dual credit freshman year, but as they get closer to the end of the year, we'll start doing the TSI testing for the sophomore year, because those classes start day one when they go to the sophomore year. So it'll come faster than you think. All right, here's the better program I want to talk about, not testing anymore. All right, dual credit program. Dual credit, students receive both high school credit and college credit. The granting of high school credit for a college course is entirely up to the high school. MVHS does recognize that. We give credit to the college courses that your student takes through NTCC. So we're partners. NTCC and us are partners, and we work very well together. On a special note, students and parents should be aware that they are enrolling in college level courses taught by college faculty. Yes, we do have college faculty here on our campus. Some of our teachers work for NTCC and they work for the high school. They get paid from both places. But just to keep this in mind that when your student decides to do college credit, that's a college class. That's going to be just a little bit tougher than those high school courses. So we don't want them going to a class that's going to be too tough for them. Because it does go on their high school record and their college record. So you've got two records you're having to deal with there. The decision to award high school credit rests solely with the local independent school district. NTCC is responsible for the college credit. All right. Here are the NTC eligibility requirements. Have approval from a high school counselor or principal with a signed dual credit permission form, which is our application. Meet dual credit course enrollment eligibility testing requirements. There's your TSI again. And then here's your SAT. A 1070 combined with 500 or higher on math and or verbal, or ACT, a 23 composite with 19 or higher on math and or English, or the PSAT with a 1070 combined with minimum critical reading and or math score of 500. The PSAT is the pre-SAT that we give our sophomores every year to see where they are on these standardized tests. And then MVHS eligibility. Of course, they must meet the NTC requirements as well. Your grade level, you must have completed the freshman or sophomore year. We don't start dual credit at freshman year. We wait till the end of freshman year, start TSI testing, and then they start sophomore year, day one, taking those dual credit classes. Their grade point average right now, freshman year, must be a B, a 3.0 overall average in high school courses, and that could be any grade level that they enter into. Teacher and counselor recommendation, passing standard on all parts of the STAR, signed dual credit contract registration form each semester. We send them home twice a year, in the spring and the fall. And then dual credit, students are required to take the TSI and meet those requirements in reading, writing, and math. So we require this stuff here because we don't want to set our students up for failure. We want to be sure that they're entering these college classes on a good note. They're ready, they're prepared, they can handle it. So we do these recommendations or these requirements. All right, dual credit courses. These courses, when I started taking care of the dual credit, there were 5. We added several. Now we have 19 courses. And these top few apply to many students because they transfer very well from NTCC, the junior college, to a 4-year college. But I do have a disclaimer. Please check if your student is just dead set on going to Texas A&M College Station, and you know that's where they're going. Please check with their department or look online to see if their classes will transfer before you pay for these classes. I know some of them say, well, math won't transfer, they don't need college algebra. Who doesn't need college algebra? I don't know, but I thought that every college did. So please do your homework on that before they decide on a college, and you pay for these courses and they're not going to transfer. But sophomore or your junior or your senior, so any grade level can take these. Your BCIS, which is your business computer applications, that's your basic computer class that's required by almost every program in college. And of course, speech. I know some of y'all that went through college know that speech is required on almost everything you do. So BCIS would be taking in the fall, speech would be taking in the spring. So they're paired up for 1 year. In your junior year, that's our history year because we're taking our U.S. history EOC that year. So 1301 is in the fall, 1302 is in the spring, and then you take your EOC and you get both credit, high school and college credit. You have to pass the college classes to get college credit, but you have to pass the high school class, and you have to pass the EOC to get high school credit. Make sure I tell you that. All right, junior or senior year, the next one. Depending on your course eligibility, you must have completed Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2. So some of y'all that are taking, you students that are taking Algebra 1, then you could probably jump into college algebra your junior year. But if you haven't, that's okay. That means you just need to go to algebra your high school, your first year of high school. All right, in math, we offer college algebra, we offer trig, pre-cal, there's pre-calculus there again, it's a different class, and we also started this year with Introduction to Statistics, that is new. And then last year we brought in Texas Government, so those all transfer, those will transfer. Most colleges now are accepting statistics before they take college algebra. So there's your option there. Senior year, English 1 and 2 for high school, English 4 for high school, 1301 and 1302 for college. You get them done. You get whole year of high school credit, and you also get fall and spring credit for college, 6 hours. Government, 2305, that is a high school class and a college class. 2301 economics, it's also high school and it's also college, so you get both credits. You get 6 hours of college, 1 full year of high school. And these MDCA classes, those are medical classes, and I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. Those are our medical students who go through health science. I hope that somebody talked about that when you went to the CTE programs. That is something up and coming. A lot of our students want to go into the health science program. They might want to be nurses, doctors, or something in that field. They're very interested in that. So those classes take place their senior year. We have 6 kids that are in that right now, and they are taking this med term and admin procedures in the fall. Right now they're taking med law and medical insurance. So when they finish, they will have a certificate if they pass the certification test. This fall, we're bringing in agriculture for our seniors. We're bringing in horticulture and animal science. We already teach those classes in high school. We're just making them dual credit, for we're partnering with NTCC to get that credit for college. My oldest daughter, she went to Texas Tech. Her whole degree plan was agriculture. So if she was here now, she could have taken these classes and we wouldn't have had to pay for them the high price at Texas Tech. There's a big difference in prices when you compare prices of NTCC and your four-year colleges. Big difference. All right, here, this is on the application. This is the middle section of the application. I wanted to read this to you because it's very important. I understand that in order to earn dual credit, I must make a C or better, which would equal to a grade of 70 or more. If I don't successfully complete the course with a final grade of at least 70, I will be required to refund any monies paid by Mount Vernon ISD to NTCC for my course. I will also not be allowed to enroll in the following semester in a dual credit course in the same subject. So if you don't pass the first section of your English 1 class, you can't go and take the college portion of English 2. You can take the high school part, but not the college part. At this time, MVHS will pay half of the tuition of the two dual credit courses per semester. Now, this is only for juniors and seniors. Sophomores, no. Offered at MVHS during the school day, pending available high school allotment funds. I understand that textbooks for some courses up to 2 are paid for by MVHS. Students are responsible for online course textbooks. And that's where I have to make a little disclaimer, because in the past, we were able to buy a whole set of textbooks and they lasted about 5 years. That was okay. But now a lot of our professors are changing textbooks every year, every year. So we can't keep up with the money to pay for the textbooks. So now sometimes that cost has to be given to the parents. And I'm just going to tell you that up front. So if your classes cost a little more, it's probably textbooks. And we're trying everything we can to keep that cost down. Dual credit tuition, this is where the tuition comes into play. Juniors and seniors only, pending available of funding, so that depends on our funding every year. MVISD will pay half of the tuition for up to 2 courses. And that's half up to 2 courses, which really that pays for 1 full course. It's the same. So here, 1 course would cost $315, but we're paying half, so you would only have to pay $157. 2 courses would cost $630, I guess, $630. Well, you only have to pay $315 because we're picking up the other half. Does that make sense? Now, but after that, it starts the full cost. And then 10th grade, we don't pay for sophomores because we want to make sure they're serious about college and their heart's into it. And if they have some motivation with our parents, they're going to say, "You've got to pass that class. You got to pass that class because I paid for it." So that's our little motivation to make sure that they're ready for those college courses. All right, deadline to pay for if you have older kids and they're taking dual credit, their deadline is August 19th on 2020 of this year. All right, certified medical assistant. This is where I wanted to get into the CMA program. We just started this year. We've been talking about it 2 years, but here are the courses that they need to take before they can take the certified medical examination, which is going to take place in May. Our kids will sit down and they'll take a national test that will certify them in any state in Texas. Now this is just the portion that they can work in the office. They can do the business stuff inside the office. They're prepared. They've gone through the courses. When they get their certificate, they can get a job in the summer. Well, if they like this and they want to continue on at NTCC, they can go and start in the summer and work on clinicals. That means they can learn blood pressure, they can learn IVs, and all the stuff that happens when that nurse takes you back to the exam room. Not everything, but some things. So they're gonna do that in the summer, go all the way through to the next fall, and they will graduate with their associate's degree and their complete certified medical examination, medical field license. So that means they can do both. So, and we did this because some students are just not ready for college. They don't know what they want to do, but they do like healthcare. This kind of gets them a little taste of in that field. And if they start out in high school and think, "Oh, this is definitely not for me," well, they can move to something else. But if they really are loving this field, they can stay with it, but they don't want to go to a 4-year college, go to NTCC, finish off, get your foot in the door. When I did some of my research on medical, and Dr. LaTorcia, you can tell me if I'm telling them wrong, that some people in the medical field, they do something like this, and then they'll go on to the next step. They'll do RN, LVN, then they'll go to the next step, BSc, and then they just keep going, and they build on their schooling to get better jobs. So that might interest your student if they're not really interested in anything right now. So that's why we do stuff like this. Scholarships at NTCC, they can do the Work for College program, work to earn spending money for dual credit classes. That means they can work at NTCC, they can dig dirt, they can plant flowers, they can paint walls, do whatever they need done during the summer before the new students come in. They get paid $15 an hour. Half of that goes to their pocket, the other half goes to like a bank account, so that when this student gets ready to start dual credit classes, well, they've already got money to pay for some of it. It transferred automatically to their account, and it's paid for. That's a good program if you want your student to work for their college. That's a good way to train them that work is part of life. And then they'll hold those credits up to 2 years. Say your student doesn't want to go to NTCC, but they have some credits left. I know my oldest daughter, whenever she went to Texas Tech, she was able to take classes at NTCC, take those kind of more difficult classes. Well, those credits would have counted if she had credits there, or otherwise they go away. Your dual credit scholarship, if there is a problem with money, of course we don't all save money for college. It's hard. So if you think that a scholarship fits your bill there, go online in the spring, and they'll always have their dual credit scholarships online. And those are great to apply for because it sure is nice to have that help when you're trying to keep the family going. All right, and the last slide, the questions and contacts, of course, that's the NTCC URL. And y'all know you can go put in NTCC and find NTCC website. And if you look up NTCC dual credit, that'll take you right there. Our contacts at NTCC is Miles Young. He's over the dual credit. Of course, there's my email address, and there's Ms. Stevens, the counselor's address. And if you have any questions about these programs, I talked about it really fast because I want to get you out of here. You could always call me. You could email me, however you see fit to get your questions answered. Is there anything I can answer for y'all right now? All right. Okay, I know I'm gonna sleep good tonight because I blabbed my way into some restful time. All right, Miss Walker is holding up the purple sheets there. I know you have your purple sheets with you. If you're satisfied with their 4-year program and you're good with it, sign it, give it to her on your way out. But if you're not, you want to take it home and think about it, please bring it back tomorrow, sign. That way we can get that in the system and get them going, because I know you can't just plan it overnight.